Game 3 of the finals tonight, I do like Boston. Not comfortably, but kind of comfortably. So about a week ago, Jayson Tatum came out and verbalized something that I didn't love. I like my stars to be confident. He came out and said, when I heard all those rumors about breaking up me and Jaylen Brown, I started questioning whether or not, I was the guy to lead the team. And I said on the air, I don't like that. Keep that one to yourself. I don't need to see every meal on Twitter, and I don't need every thought in front of a microphone. Keep some things to yourself. Oh, no, he's doing it now again, verbalizing self-doubt. He was asked about, his slow start in the finals, and here's what he said.
I'm sure that I've seen it as a huge debate. Is he a superstar? Is he not? I want to know where that came from. Like, did I tweet that? Did I ever say that I'm a superstar or, I'm on the verge? That never came from me. But it has been a big deal this last year and a half or 2 years. And I see it all the time. And there's always been a question in the back of my head. I wonder who spoke on my behalf or said that or why that was such a big deal.
Marginal players think they're superstars. I mean, there are teams in this league paying guys not to play. They think they're superstars. Russell Westbrook, fourth team, 4 years. Lakers looking to move him. Sees himself as a superstar. Jayson Tatum, one of the best young players in the league. I don't know. I'll go back to this. I cannot imagine Michael Jordan reading that before Game 3 and thinking, self-doubt, it's in him. Let's get it out of him. And the problem is, when I see Jayson Tatum play, I see his words on the court. I see it. The quarterback is your superstar in the NBA. In crisis, you become him. He sounds like Andy Dalton. I want my guy to sound like Matt Stafford or Joe Burrow. I mean, marginal players like Baker can sometimes get cocky. But if you're great like Burrow or Stafford or Tatum, you got to know you're great. I hear that, and my takeaway is somewhere in him, twice in the last week, he has self-doubt. It's my job as a defender to pull it out of him. Here's what I want from my star. This is what I want from my stars. One of my favorite bites. Kevin Durant was with the Warriors, and they were up against a team. Patrick Beverley was guarding him. And Kevin was just talking about, listen, I could score on that dude all the time. I got to pass the ball to Steph and Clay. This is what I want from my superstar.
I'm not going to get in the way of the game because, I want to have a little back and forth with Patrick Beverley. I'm Kevin Durant. You know who I am. Y'all know who I am.
That's exactly what I want from my star. It's why I always defend Kevin Durant, because he's just brutally authentic, and that's what I want. And you wouldn't say that at a dinner party, and you wouldn't say that at work. You're not an NBA star. I give my athletes a pass. I say this about UFC fighters. You're walking into a cage, mano a mano against a man. You have to believe you're the toughest guy in an arena of 20,000 people. You cannot go into a UFC octagon with any doubt. You're in the NBA Finals. There'll be 18,000 people tonight. I'm going to give you a little crazy. I'm going to give you a little attitude. I'm going to give you major leeway on ego. What I don't want to hear is, I don't know if I'm the leader of this team. I want you to do a Matt Stafford. Look at Cooper Kupp. Drop back to throw and throw a no-look pass in the biggest play of his career. That's what I want. Not if you're an accountant. Not if you're a doctor. Not if you're a pilot. But if you're a performer, you're a singer, you're an actor, you're an athlete, you're different. You're on stage, you're performing. I'm going to give you a lot of leeway on ego. You got to kind of, we want our athletes to be good people off the court, off the field, right? I do. But they do have to flip a switch a little, right? We understand they got to flip a little bit of a switch to perform. Larry Bird was once a Celtic facing the Sonics. And so it got late into a game, and Casey Jones, the Celtics coach, called a timeout, brought him in the huddle. And Casey, who I met before, nice guy, talking. At one point, Larry Bird said in the huddle, Hey, Casey, why don't you just get me the ball and move everybody else out of the way? So that's what they did. Play came out. Bird got the ball. Right before he got the ball, he looked at Xavier McDaniel, great player for the Sonics. He said, you do know I'm getting the ball, and I'm going to shoot right over you. And they inbounded the ball to Bird. He looked at McDaniels, and he shot right over him and made it. And as Larry Bird was walking away, he turned to McDaniels and said, I didn't mean to give you a couple of seconds left on the clock. That's what I want for my star. That's what I want for my singer, my actor, my athlete, my quarterback, and my NBA wing star. Not, I didn't call myself a superstar. I don't know if you are, but I want you to believe in Game 3 tonight at home, you are. All right, Chris Broussard now is joining us. I like the Celtics tonight. I don't love anything because I think this series is really even. I've said if Robert Williams played 30 minutes every game remaining, I'd take Boston because it would limit Golden State's interior scoring. The minute he's out, Bam Adebayo and Kayvon Looney look like all-stars. So I think he's a huge factor, but he's not going to play that. He's going to play 20 minutes. He's probably going to miss another game. So I think I like Boston tonight. Chris, who do you like and why tonight?
Well, look, you're right on that. This is a hard-fought series. I picked Golden State to win it all in 7. So they're going to be ups and downs. And whichever team loses tonight, many basketball observers will be like, it's over. That's it. The winner they'll be thinking is going to win it. That's what happens in these series. Whichever team wins the last game, people think is going to win it all. But I like Golden State tonight. I like them because they've got the momentum. Their best player, Steph Curry, and you were just talking about Jayson Tatum, and we can get into that later. But Steph Curry's playing great. Certainly was great in Game 2. Had his moments in Game 1, though he didn't do it during the stretch. And the Celtics' best player, Jayson Tatum, is obviously struggling. Boston, yeah, okay, they have home court advantage. So what? They're not good at home in the playoffs. They're 5-4 in the playoffs at home and 8-3 on the road. They're 3-4 in their last 2 series against Milwaukee and Miami at home. So I don't think they have much of a home court advantage. And I think Klay Thompson, who has been bad in these first 2 games, to put it kindly, is due for a breakout game. I don't know if it'll come tonight, but I think in this series, he's got 1, maybe 2 big games inside of him. And so I like the Warriors to win the night. And then I think Boston wins Game 4. So I think we're 2-2 going back to Golden State.
So your cohort, Nick Wright, is always so tough on Draymond Green, who, by the way, has a wonderful podcast. I am a fan of Draymond. I think he's got a lot of Rodman qualities, but he's a much more skilled offensive player, much more catalyst. And I also think he sometimes has a temper, but really never goes too far into the weeds. He kind of knows what he's doing. I thought he manipulated Jaylen Brown. He moved his feet on him. I think he's a tone setter in the series. A lot of people think he's out of control and could combust tonight. Where do you land on Draymond?
Well, look, he scares me. As a guy that picks the Warriors, you know how it is. We root for our picks. He scared me in Game 2. I mean, after that first technical, I'm like, dude, will you relax? Just calm down. Because there were several times where in a regular season game, he may have gotten a second technical and been ejected. I think the refs did the right thing because none of us want to see any of the important players taken out of these games. But I do agree with you, Colin, that he is smart. He's crazy like a fox, right? And I think tonight, like there's a lot of people think, Nick included, that the Celtics players should try to egg Draymond on, right? Get him out, mess with him so he goes crazy and maybe gets ejected. Number one, I think Draymond's too smart for that. If he sees that the Celtics players are trying to bait him into getting ejected or getting a technical, I think he'll love that, and I think he'll go the opposite way. Like he is the king in this series of the mental games. And secondly, that's not Boston's game. There's a reason when you see a really small player, it used to be Earl Boykins when he was in the league, or Muggsy Bogues, or whoever you want to say. When they're out there the other team doesn't automatically say, you know what, let's post the point guard who's 6'2" against one of those guys. Because it's not what they do. It can take them out of their game, and it certainly can take the whole team out of its game, even if it may seem like an advantage. And Boston, if they get caught up in trying to one-up Draymond in mind games, right, then they're going to be in trouble. That's not Jaylen Brown's game.
Right.
That's not Jayson Tatum's game. So that wouldn't be wise for them. So I think they will just go, if they're smart, they'll just go ahead and try to ignore Draymond and play their game.
By the way, I'm not a big fan of Jayson Tatum with his self-doubt. I said this a week ago. Michael Jordan would see that, and you know what he would do. Michael Jordan would say, "It's in there." He doesn't believe in himself. I'm pulling that out. I don't like it. And I've watched Tatum. Sometimes on the floor, I can see his self-doubt. Yeah. It's like it's manifesting. Like, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of it. What do you make of what he says? And he's brutally honest. Sometimes I don't want you to be honest.
Yeah, look, I thought it was a wonderful soliloquy you gave. I mean, it was entertaining. I loved it. But I don't totally agree. And the Kevin Durant quote was awesome, right, with Patrick Beverley. But let's be honest, Durant has yet to show us he can lead a team to a championship. He can be the best player. He can go ball out when you got all these other weapons on the floor like Steph and Clay, but he hasn't shown us he can lead. And I think I love Jayson Tatum's transparency, but you're right, it's too much at this point.
Yeah.
Like, you people talk about keeping it real. I keep it real, but I still get up in the morning and comb my hair. I don't keep it that real where I just roll out of bed and you see me on TV. All right, so some things need to be hidden, right? And this is one of them. But I think, Colin, is more youth. If you look at the guys, I mean, Jordan, when did he lead a team to a championship? 7th season. LeBron, 9th season. Bird entered the league at 23 after several years in college. The guys Jayson Tatum's 24 years old. In his 5th year, he played 1 season in college. So the guys that have led teams to championships at a young age or early in their career either had like a 3 or 4 year college career, or they joined the team with a superstar like Magic Johnson. He joined, Kareem was the MVP, and he joined that team that had a host of really good veteran players. So I think this is youth. I do think, yeah, there's some self-doubt, but didn't we see doubt in LeBron, his first finals against the Spurs in 2007, his second finals even against Dallas.
Yeah.
So I just think that Jayson Tatum is a young guy who will, you can't say, like, look, he faced down LeBron as a rookie in a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals. Now, he lost, but he averaged 18 points in that series, and he hadn't been a big scorer throughout the year. So I do think he's got it in him, but I think he's young, and I think these are growing pains that he's going through. And a few years from now, if we see him back at this level, you won't see the same thing. So I just think he's young and learning rather than a guy that doesn't have it in him.
Okay, I'm going to throw this at you. It's a little crazy town. A little crazy town. LeBron now has twice talked about wanting to play with Steph Curry. He doesn't love ownership or the front office. He's tied into a bad Westbrook contract, and AD's never healthy. LeBron's way too smart to just throw stuff out there. What he is, he's sending the bat signal out. Like, you guys, Lakers need youth. Kuminga, Moody, Klay Thompson's dad lives in L.A. I think LeBron's absolutely very calculated, and he's just letting everybody know, Joe Lacob, Bob Myers, I am available, but I really do. Chris, I think he's sending that out there for a reason. Your thoughts?
You're not way off. I mean, I do, and this is not inside information, but like you said, LeBron is too smart. He knows every little thing he says and does is going to be hyper-analyzed. So, yeah, I think he put it out for a reason, and it's one thing to, like, compliment an opponent. No, he's great. We know what he can do and this and that. He is glowed.
Yes.
He is just fawned over Steph Curry, all right, at the All-Star game and all that. So I'm not saying he's, like, definitely dying for a trade. But, yeah, there's something to this because we know he wants to win another championship, if not more. And he knows if he played with Steph Curry, it's probably over. Now, I don't think LeBron is a tremendous fit there because LeBron tends to become the system wherever he goes. He's gotten off that a little bit these last couple of years, but he is still so good, such a great passer. Steph is still so good, and the other players that they have, the few they'd be able to keep if they had to trade, that they would figure it out, and I do think they would win the championship. I'll say this too, Colin, and I don't mind LeBron being this way. I've never killed him when he went to Miami or Durant when he went to Golden State. But when you talk about GOAT debates, this is one thing people will point to. Yeah. And I'm watching Magic Johnson's They Call Me Magic, right, on Apple TV. And Michael Jordan is in it, and he says, when he first faced Magic in the championship, I'm ready to, I was ready to go to the mountaintop. I'm paraphrasing, but, Magic was on the mountaintop. I was ready to get there. And he said, I didn't want to go around Magic. I wanted to go through Magic.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they talk about the difference between Jordan and LeBron, will say, Jordan, I know it was a different era, but still, he wanted to go through the competition, the best. Whereas LeBron, D. Wade and Bosh, Kyrie, and Kevin Love, for that matter. Now Anthony Davis. Now he wanted Kawhi. Now he's putting it out there that he might want to play with Steph. Like, that's a difference. Wanting to go through the best competition and wanting to join and play with the best competition. So that's something people will point to. A little nit to pick, but it'll be brought up.
Oh, yeah, on shows like ours. Chris Broussard also has a radio show. Great one with Rob Parker every day, Fox Sports Radio. Good seeing you, buddy.
You too.